Hello everybody, Keith here again. Today it's yet another repotting video. I'm doing this one and recording it particularly because this is Zygopetalum crinitum. This is my species Zygo, which I got from Burnham's at the Welsh Orchid Festival last year. It's one of their seedling plants, and it's in their seedling compost, which is a mixture of very small bark, peat and perlite. Now, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but here we've got some rather manky looking roots, but round in the back down there we've got some nice roots. So I want to get in here and have a look at it. Arthur at the Orchid Festival said that it was getting ready for a repot, and they would put it into bark. Well, I haven't got any smallish bark. All I've got is some quite chunky stuff that I can use for fowls and things like paths, but not really for something like this. Even the stuff I normally use, the orchid focus bark, I think wouldn't suit it very well, because this stuff is very, very water retentive. You know, for seedlings and things like peonies and whatever is what they sell it for. It's great for that, but I don't want to shock it. If I go from something that's really, really water retentive, and we know that Zygos like to be on the damp side, but they like to dry out of course, but they like to be on the damp side. If I yank it out of this stuff and bang it straight into bark, I think that's going to be too much of a shock to its system. We've got, I mean, it has matured to the two new growths it had last year. This one, it started to form a pseudo-bulb. The other side hasn't. This side, and that's how we've got two new growths coming. So we've got plenty of new growth. It's a nice vigorous plant. Hasn't flowered yet, but that's, oh, what a lovely looking set of roots. What about that lot? It's actually in much better nick root-wise than I was expecting. But it's get it out of here and have a look what we can do. I have got some of this material, because I'll have to debate what to repot it in. I was thinking of using the Westland mix, which is something I don't use a lot anymore. I've talked about it previously and said that it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it if it suits your orchid, and it doesn't suit a lot of mine. Plants that really want a lot of water do well in it. So some of my cymbidiums do well in it, and so on. But I think when it comes to the majority of things, Phalaenopsis or what have you, it wouldn't work. So rather than start adding moss, which will be the other thing to try and do, I don't know what they've done in the middle of this, whether they've just, it feels, I don't think it's got a plug so much as it's just been yanked out of one pot and slapped into another pot the next size up, and so we've got two lots of roots that are all matted together, and the stuff right in the middle is extremely old material. So I think this is going to have to go under the tap and rinse a lot of this out. I can't get in there to do it. Oh, there's a bit of a mossy looking thing down there. Oh, that's a piece of root. This is the trouble. I'm trying to disentangle something, probably damaging more than I would like to, but I don't know where the start and finish of some of these roots is. Yeah, some of these roots are just going round and round and round and round and round, so they're going to be a heck of a length when I've got to it. Oh, that's better. That's pretty much got them all straightened out. Yeah, there'll be some that need trimming, but I think it'll be a cold day in hell when that becomes a serious problem, when you pull a plant out, an orchid out of its pot, and find there aren't any roots that aren't, every root's perfect. I mean, you hope that all the roots are reasonable and you haven't got too much hacking and chopping to do, which I think is true in this case. But I think it's no great surprise when you see how many roots were rammed into that pot, that I think by the time we've got them all out, got them all trimmed, it's going to have a lot more room to bang some roots out. And with a root system like this, I'm hoping, I know zygos really hate to be disturbed, but I'm really hoping that I can give it something better to work with. I just hope it's looking pretty darn good, even right back in the middle. I was not expecting that. I thought for sure that everything out of the back of that plant was going to be poor, but in fact it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes giving it a rinse and getting up as much of this crud off as I can, and then I'm going to have to do the normal thing, feel the root, and where it's not right, take it off. But I don't think overall the root system's in too bad a way. That's not very clever. I'll take that off. Up there. That's goes back to there. Yeah. I think I've just about caught it in time. There's quite a lot of roots where the tips and some of the branches have gone, and probably wouldn't stand the shock of being transplanted. But it is a branching rootstock, so there's a good chance if I get this right, it will set off and we'll be okay. So, right, I'm just going to go and give it a rinse and I'll be back soon. Okay then, back again, all rinsed and cleaned up. I've got as much as I possibly can out from underneath the bottom of that at the base of the plant, around the old part. But we actually got a lot of very good roots. I'm really pleased with that. Running it under the tap has shown up where some of the roots are not looking wonderful, but for the most part we're okay. I mean, even like that, some parts of that, I don't know that root's going to do any good. Let's take that off. I'm not happy with that one. Take that off there. But we've got some nice roots, for the most part under here. Quite happy with those, and I think if I put it in this one and move it over to the back, it's going to have plenty of room to work its way forward over the next few years. So I think I'm about ready to start, so I'll get some of the coarser bark I've got. To crop that pot. I'm not going to put any holes in the side of the pot. I don't want this to dry out too fast. I might come back and put some more in later if it seems to be staying wet too long, because I know that zygos like to be on the damp side. But I haven't found an orchid yet, with the possible exception of Restrapias, Mazzies to a degree, that want to be actually permanently wet. And most of them, I say even those that like to be damp, they like to have something of the cycle, in my conditions anyway. And that's all you can ever say. In my conditions here in Derby, right in the middle of England, I was going to kick the bucket, just kick one of my bottles that I keep the fertiliser in. Not a dust in this time. Not great. Do the best I can. Hopefully I put rinse through, I think I'll start to water it. It's ended up a little bit further over than I wanted it to be, but I think that's I always say that's a sign of a well-potted plant. You can pick it up by the leaves and it doesn't come out of the pot. So yeah, that's Zygopetalum crinitum. This has been done on the 27th of April 2022, and hopefully that'll give it room to move on, to chuck loads of new roots out, and just accelerate away. It's got a good root system in there, and as long as it doesn't throw a strop and chuck all those away, we should be fine. So another fairly quick video. I hope you've found that interesting. I was really pleased with the root system on that. So all I can say is thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like, and I'd love to hear any comments you've got beneath it. So thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.